Today we're going to talk about the different type of relationships that can happen in your life. I'm talking about twin flames, soulmates, and karma mates from the evolutionary astrological lens. This is something I'm going to be diving and digging into my new book that will be coming out in a couple months, Astrology Dating. Now, this is like one of my favorite topics because when I flesh it out, it makes sense to me, and you might want to think about your kind of relationships that you've had. Now, I am mostly talking about romantic relationships, but not all of these karma mates, soulmates, and twin flames show up romantically. They can also be your best friends, acquaintances in some way for short periods of time. But we're talking about intimate relationships that show up in your life and the difference between them. Now, for a long time, twin flames was trending on social media. Like everybody wanted to find their twin flame. And literally, I do not feel like people understood what a twin flame is. When you have a twin flame relationship, it is extremely rare to have. Okay, extremely rare. It is the soul having split off its consciousness into two separate humans. So this is literally the same soul that is operating, but in two different human body vessels. So there is this push-pull dynamic within a twin flame relationship, okay? There's the runner and the chaser. One person is going to expose your unconscious shadow complexes while also exposing your highest vibrational potential. These relationships tend to be so alike. These two humans are so similar, so alike in so many ways, to the point that it's only a relationship that becomes a catalyst for spiritual growth and development, or just development in your personal life. But it's not about evolution itself, right? It is simply the catalyst. And also at times, the twin flame relationship, again, which is extremely rare for people to actually encounter, it's boring. It's boring because you're the same human. And I don't mean this as you have similarities and you feel like you're the same human. No, you are literally one soul that is split off into two different bodies. You will think the same, maneuver the same, look the same, act the same. Sometimes you will see this in people who were born very close together, right? Like same day, almost same time. There can be sometimes this obsession, almost because there's this mirroring effect going on. So, we're kind of like become obsessed with ourselves at one point or another because we want to look at it, work on ourselves, we like ourselves, whatever, right? What have you. There can be this obsession kind of dynamic, and it's just non-linear, okay? These type of relationships, like the duration is really like non-linear, okay? So it is only meant to be a catalyst into yourself. Now, because you're inhabiting two different personalities, it's the same soul in two different bodies, but different personalities as well in some level or degree. Usually one person is not as spiritually evolved as the other person to sustain the relationship for a long time. Okay, so in the astrology chart and connections, you'll see stuff like Chiron synastry or very strong Pluto contacts, or basically the same chart itself. Again, being only born maybe a couple of hours apart. Because these are not always showing up as romantic partnerships. It can be like a best friend, for instance, that can show up as your twin flame, male or female, your male, female, it doesn't matter. The purpose becomes integrating masculine and feminine, okay, and learning to balance. Because remember, the twin flame is about mirroring one another, right? And showing each other our shadows and our highest qualities as well. Now, soulmates is a big one. A lot of people are like, I found my true soulmate. This is the one person, right? Yes, of course. But we have many soulmates. We have more than just one soulmate, okay? And the purpose of your soulmate relationships, again, it can be romantic or friendship is somebody who is in your soul family tribe. Okay. There are obviously many people on this planet Earth, souls that have incarnated and come down, billions and billions, but we're not obviously going to meet all of these people, right? The ones who are intimate in your life and who have agreed to help you on your evolutionary journey in a more beneficial, fluid, positive manner. Okay, these are your soulmates. Now, your soulmate contracts are still going to have their difficulties, and really good ones will have their issues, they will have their difficulties, but there tends to be a genuine feeling of reciprocation, right? Like you see them, they see you for whatever it is, and they're here to support you on your evolutionary journey. Yes, they might cause you pain, they might cause you grief, they might break your heart at times. Okay, but ultimately, their lessons that they're giving you, this is the stuff I also talk deeply about in the root chakra meditations that I do and the sacral chakra meditations that I do. These people have already agreed, before you and their souls have already agreed to come down to be like, hey, I'm going to make you fall madly in love with me, and then I'm going to decide we're not going to be together anymore, and you're going to evolve through this kind of thing. And we're still going to be friends, and we're still going to have a relationship after. We're still going to raise the kids together, and we're going to have a healthy co-parenting relationship, right? These are the kind of soulmate contracts that exist, right? That you are genuinely, from a loving place, here to help each other evolve and grow and expand spiritually, whether the other person is spiritual or not. You have agreed to spiritually evolve together. Like on that soul level, that relationship has a destiny to reach that higher vibration, right? One of my exes, we were friends and then we dated and now we're still friends, and he's one of my best friends, right? True soulmate energy. Like this is a romantic version of that, still staying stable, positive, a part of the evolution in my life, and same vice versa. So soulmate contracts they're more common than twin flames, right? But they're less common than karma mates, which we'll get into in a minute. Your soulmate family and your soulmate tribe have this destiny and this generative feeling about them. Like it gives you life, it gives you lesson, it gives you empowerment, it gives you courage, right? Yes, again, there might be painful parts in those things, but you become more evolved, you become more conscious, you become a deeper, more compassionate, more loving person because of whatever gift that relationship with that particular soulmate gave you. Looking at the astrology chart with synastry or composite charts, contacts to your north node or their north node are a big indicator, right? If their personal planet is on your north node, they're pulling you into your north node with how that planet is operating, right? And vice versa for you. Also, Venus overlays and Jupiter overlays, because there's a partnership quality coming in, there's a likeness, there's a learning about what relationship looks like between Venus, or there's an expansion with higher consciousness, higher thought, deeper, bigger philosophy, right? There are multiple things that can happen, but those are the things that I mostly would look for, but especially with North Node planets, with North Node synastry between you and another person. Now, karma mates is the hard one, okay? This is the one that you feel so intense, so magnetic, so amazing, right? So driven towards, emotional, enmeshed, right? You're like, this relationship means something. This connection is karmic. This is fated. I was meant to be with this person. I was meant to be in this relationship, right? You can get very overwhelmed in karmic relationships because you have soul history together. Now, it does not mean that all karmic relationships need to come to an end in this lifetime, but more likely than not, they will, because you're trying to finish business that wasn't finished in a prior lifetime, right? You could have hurt the person in a prior lifetime. You could have burned their house down. You could have killed their child, right? You could have broken their heart. You could have betrayed their trust. Something happened that was unfinished, right? Where both souls did not get to resolve the pattern. And so what happens in these karmic relationships is you start to see very quickly the pattern, the painful pattern that keeps cycling back and coming back around. And you're like, why do I keep doing this? Why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep having this conversation? Why do I keep ending up with people this way, right? Why can't I get this? Why won't they understand that, right? It's like this circling around effect that continues to happen and happen and happen. Now, when you're more aware, you'll know, you'll feel, wow, there is a heaviness here. There is a responsibility here. Okay, Saturn placement, Saturn connections between your chart and their chart is one of those indicators that this is a karmic relationship, because there is responsibility that needs to be taken for this closure and this completion to happen between you and another person. Maybe you were meant to have a family in a prior lifetime and you didn't get to it because war and your husband got taken away and it was painful for you and you never got to have his child, right? There could be so many scenarios on why your karmic connection didn't finish its completion, right? But the soul carries it. And this is a part of what we learn in evolutionary astrology with your personal chart too. What is your personal karmic story that you're trying to work through? But then also when these relationships come in, they're helping you evolve through your own personal karmic history, as well as the karmic history that you have with them in prior lifetimes. So these are the people that will feel like you are meant to be together. You will feel the heaviness. It will be hard for you to break the pattern. It'll be hard for you to let go. They will be brutally painful at times. They will repeat the same patterns of toxicity or abuse, or just not giving you what you want. Because the purpose here is to bring awareness to what this specific karmic relationship is bringing you and heal it, resolve it, finish it, complete it, let it decay and let it go. And a lot of people have a hard time with this. They break up with their karmic partners and they don't do a proper release. All right. They don't. And believe me, I've been through this. I can teach you this. They don't do a proper release and a letting go inside of the heart. Okay. Inside of the heart. And it is my understanding and my belief that one person can, if they become strong enough, do the releasing for both people so that you don't repeat the same patterns and the same pain again in the next lifetime, okay? Another thing that I will see with these karmic dynamics in the synastry chart and the composite chart, but mostly the synastry, is south node connections. Somebody's Venus on your south node, their sun on your south node, their ascendant on your south node, right? They're coming in through the south node, which is prior lifetime energy. That is a direct indicator. Hey, this is karmic. And they can have south node and north node connections, okay? Where they're both a part of that, got to close it out, but also kind of a soulmate too in a way, because I'm helping you grow, right? That can happen. And another thing I will look at is both of your nodes, both of your nodal axes having significant aspects to each other, okay? Maybe it's the same, maybe they're conjunct, maybe they're square each other. Obviously, all of these aspects will help you flesh out how this karmic relationship is going to play out on a deeper scale.